Hi everybody. Today the question is how to identify financial abuse by your siblings, your brothers and your sisters. So caregivers ask about this and they might be wondering about siblings, especially those who live in the same household as an elderly parent, or siblings who live on their own but who may be a little too dependent on your elderly parents. And so part of the answer is the way that you identify this depends on looking at the relationship between your parent and your brother and your sisters and yourself. Stay with me to learn things to look for to figure out if your brother or sister is taking financial advantage of mom or dad. I'm Pamela D Wilson. My website is PamelaDWilson.com. On there, a lot of hope, help, support for caregivers and aging adults, articles, my blog, my book, my podcast, videos, my free online courses. Also, click the button here, follow me on YouTube, share this video with others who might be looking for hope, help, and support. So, answers to that big question, is your sibling financially dependent on mom or dad? And if so, why? Does your sibling have a health issue or a disability such that mom or dad have needed to take care of them all of their lives? Or is it totally another issue? Substance abuse, alcohol abuse, where maybe your sibling has moved back in with your parents or they can't keep a job. And so they keep going to your parents saying, I need money. I can't pay my rent. I can't buy groceries. My car's falling apart. And your parents, rather than setting a boundary and saying no, keep giving them money. Question to consider is, have your parents created the problem? Are they part of this issue of enabling your brother or sister not to take care of themselves, not to get a job, not to learn how to pay their bills, not to become financially responsible? So if this is happening, how do you know? How might you know? Well, there's a list of signs that I'm about to give you, but you're probably going to need some access to your parents' house or bank accounts or something to even know. So, does your sibling withdraw money from your parents' bank account? Do they have access to your parents' bank account online so that they can go on and pay not only your parents' bills, but pay their bills? Have the names of your brother or sister been added to your parents' account without any kind of legal authority? Are they using your parents' debit card? Are they using your parents' credit card? Are they using your mom or dad's information, their names, their social security numbers, to sign up for credit cards or subscription services or things that have regular payments? Are you noticing valuables missing from the house? Are they having your parents sign checks and your parents may be too trusting to say, well, what am I signing here? What's this check for? What is this payment for? And money's going out of the bank account. Are there any kind of sudden changes? So if your parents have a power of attorney document, medical or financial, is there all of a sudden a new power of attorney document that's been created taking your name off and putting their name on? Are your siblings showing up with new cars, new clothes, packages being delivered to their house? And you're wondering where the money's coming from to pay for these things when your brother or sister don't really have a job. And last but not least, if your sibling lives with your parents, are you noticing poor living conditions? Is the house filthy? There's a house cleaner coming, but the whole house isn't getting clean. Maybe just your parents' bathroom. Are there repairs that need to be done? And you're wondering, well, why aren't these getting done? Why is my sibling not doing this? Well, are they not spending all of this money because they're expecting an inheritance from your parents, right? They're expecting to get money when your parents die. All these things, they can be emotionally upsetting and they can be really not in your parents' best interest. So what can you do if you're noticing these things? Well, the first thing to do, and can be a tough one, but it's to have a family meeting, not to be threatening, not to be confrontational, but just to say, hey, I'm noticing that, mom or dad need this, and I know that you're living with them and you're the one that's been helping them out. I apologize that I haven't been more involved, and now I want to offer my help. I want to help all of these things get done for mom and dad, and how can we do that together? And you do this with your parents present and with your siblings present so that you're being fully transparent about concerns, again, in a very nice way. You just want to be helpful and really learn about what's going on with all the money and why your parents aren't receiving the care that they should be. Now, in other cases, you may notice that your brother or sister who may be benefiting from your parents' money, right, has become so controlling that they don't want you over your parents' house unless they're there, or if they live with your parents, you go see your parents and they'll never leave because they need to be around for mom or dad. Well, if that's the case, they're probably hiding something, and your parents may actually be very much influenced by this brother or sister of yours, and they're afraid to speak up or say anything because your brother or sister lives with them, and they may be emotionally abusing your parents or physically abusing your parents, or exactly what you suspect, committing financial abuse for their own well-being. Now, as a care manager and a power of attorney and a court-appointed guardian, I've been involved in all different types of situations, and they're not easy. And as the child watching this, you can be saying, I don't know if I should get involved in this. I don't know if I'm up for it. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a fight. Well, probably it's going to be. But if you don't fight for your parents, who will? Now, you have to also realize that your parents may not want to fight with the sibling that lives with them because they've enabled this behavior all these years. So you kind of may be caught between here and there. So here are other steps that you can take if the family meeting goes nowhere. Start collecting documentation, making notes of conversations with your parents so that you have like a paper trail, a conversation trail. You have documentation in case this needs to go to a legal process. If you are the power of attorney, financial, and medical, then you do have a responsibility to do something, even though your parents may disagree. Now, if your parent has dementia or Alzheimer's, and your brother or sister truly is influencing them, as that power of attorney, you have the power to do something about that. You may need to go for guardianship or conservatorship. You may need to move your sibling out of the home so that your parent can get care. There's a lot of steps in between here. Contacting Adult Protective Services to have them do an investigation can be a good step, because then you have an independent party in there who's going to evaluate the situation. Now, I know a lot of people hear really bad things about working with APS, but really, if you've got nothing to hide and you're trying to work this out, they can be an advocate for you. But you're probably also going to want to find an elder law attorney, somebody who specializes in this, who can help you create a plan of how to have financial abuse investigated, how to make sure that your parents need the care. The bottom line in really all of this caregiving, whether you're the sibling who might even be accused of committing financial abuse, is financial transparency. Show the bank accounts, show the credit card statements, show that you're not doing anything wrong. If you're not doing anything wrong, there's no need not to give up that information, not to show that information. But if you resist, then the perception is that, there may be something fishy going on here. There may be something not right going on here. So open conversations, transparency about everything that's happening in the care for your parents, whether it's their medical care or their financial care. That's the best way to avoid any type of situation where there is suspected financial abuse or healthcare abuse of an elderly parent. I'm Pamela D Wilson. There is a lot more help on my website, PamelaDWilson.com. Thanks for being here. Again, remember, please press the share button, follow all these videos on my YouTube channel. There are literally hundreds with answers to questions caregivers ask. I'll see you all again soon in another video.